Every great adventure has a starting line, and today we are here to cross it. Welcome back, everyone, to Cross the Line, a tennis podcast by WFUV Sports. My name is Gabby Price, joined by my lovely co-hosts today, Grace McCarron and Mary Hawthorn. We have a fantastic episode lined up today, wrapping up the 2025 U.S. Open. Very sad that it's over, but excited to kind of break down these last couple matches and everything else kind of in between. But first, we have some breaking news to discuss. Just yesterday, I believe, one of our personal favorite players have now, he used to be called Alcaraz. Now he's blonde Alcaraz. And I included a picture on our rundown just so you guys had the full effect on your screens. But I need to hear initial reactions. Mary, I don't think I'll like your take, but I need to hear your take.
That's okay. I really like it. I think it's fun. It's different. But, I initially liked the buzz cut, so maybe that's a hot take. But I think this is even better. I think it's different. He just won. I like the change. But Grace, you tell me what you think.
I really hate it. I'm not gonna lie. First of all, if you're looking, I wish we could show the audience this picture we're looking at right now, because it's so white. It's not, you can't even really call this blonde. It's bleached, and it's a little bit silver, and I'm just really upset about it. If it was normal blonde, maybe it would be fine, but this is bright. It's fluorescent light colored, and I'm not really okay with it. His buzz cut, we were saying before the show, the buzz cut was growing in fairly well by the time we got to the final, and I was like, all right, it doesn't look that bad anymore.
How is that bad?
But yeah, this is horrible. But it didn't look that bad at the final, and it was still dark. And now it just he ruined it again, and I need someone to stop him. I'm getting really worried.
And this is a lesson. I don't know how many dark brown men with dark brown hair have to do this before they all collectively learn as a society.
Yeah.
Do not dye your hair. Do not bleach your hair.
There's no reason.
I mean,
Guys,
there's
I'm trying
no
to think of somebody,
reason to.
Could there be somebody that we like with a bleach blonde buzz cut? That's an
It
athlete.
does.
That
Probably
it's cool.
not.
It works on some
I
people.
feel like some athletes
what I
have
will
really
say,
cool.
some of them do
bleached hair
it really
and things.
well, but this is white. He looks like he has a golf.
He looks
like a golf
he's
ball.
pushing 70. Yeah. It's
It looks almost gray.
It literally looks insanely bad.
I think there's a way,
this is just
if it
ridiculous.
was
No,
it
yeah,
must
it
be
definitely
bleached,
is
but
quite white.
I think there is a way for it to look better. But I was at a point, and I almost texted our group chat during the finals because I was like, you know what, buzz cut has grown on me. Buzz cut has grown on me.
It got to a good length, I think.
Yeah, which now 2 U.S. Open championships with buzz cut. I mean, I think he knows what he has to do. Maybe it's a weird coincidence, but maybe it's a good luck charm. But let's move on. Mary, I kind of want to just throw this to you.
Oh,
you were at some of the last few matches of the U.S. Open. Just what was it like?
Yeah, it was really fun. I watched the women's final at home because I had my GRE in the morning, so thankfully that wrapped up. But I couldn't get down there. But I did see the men's final in person, and that was amazing. I think it was a great final. After the French Open, which I think is, dare I say, one of the best major finals ever.
Yeah.
I was excited for this. I knew it was going to be a good match. I wish it went to 5 sets. I think that would have just made it all the better. But it was a great match. But Alcaraz was just so dominant from the beginning that there was no stopping him. I believe, the first set was 6-2. And immediately, I mean, the energy in the entire stadium was different because it was so shocking that it wasn't I thought literally every set was going to be 6-all tiebreak.
Yeah.
So that was surprising. But, I think Alcaraz knew what he had to do. So dominant, came to net all the time. Sinner, I don't think was playing his best, but Alcaraz was just so incredible that I think that's why he took it. But I was able to go to the press conferences after, which really was like the highlight of the night. Sinner said that one of his main takeaways was predictability. He wants to be a more versatile player, not have, people like Alcaraz know exactly what he's going to do, which I think is definitely unique. And Alcaraz, of course, said that he prioritized versatility and being unpredictable, and he thinks that having watched a lot of Yannick's tapes and practices really helped him improve. So I think that was interesting. I didn't realize that at that level, players were really, watching their opponents' matches to the extent that, both Carlos and Yannick were saying that they did. So that was definitely interesting. But a great night, great energy, crazy security. I mean, that's another thing I think we could talk about. I got there on time, but I heard that people had to wait almost 3 hours to get inside because of the Secret Service.
Right.
Which was insane. But, I mean, overall, amazing. Loved the final. Loved the results. I mean, I know some of us were correct. Some of us were close. I think in general, we all did a great job. Well, like, we all had some correct boxes. Whereas, I mean, after Wimbledon, I think any correct answer is a success. Like, I think I had none right after Wimbledon.
So, like, I didn't pick anything correctly, but
I was gonna say,
well,
it happens.
You had Sinner in the final.
I had him in the final.
So
I just had the roles reversed,
which is fine.
So,
close.
like,
yeah,
I was
close.
basically there. Like, it's fine.
Yeah,
but I loved this final. I was also expecting it to go 5 sets, but I feel like we're so. Now we just anticipate every final of theirs to be like the French Open final, and like that's not that like doesn't happen that much. Like I feel like we forget like saving 2 or 3 or multiple championship points, whatever it was. Like that doesn't happen that often. And like I remember when like Djokovic did that in Wimbledon in 2019 against Roger Federer, which was a terrible day for my household. We were really distraught.
I'm still distraught.
But that doesn't happen that much. So like, yes, obviously 2 great players, and whenever they play, it's probably going to be a lot of fun, but like, we can't expect everything to be like the French Open. So was kind of bummed that it didn't go to 5 sets, but it was kind of obvious that Carlos was the better player for sure. Yeah, and I think Yannick said that after the match.
That's what I was kind of going to say. Alcaraz played unbelievably well in this match, and I think even what you were saying, Mary, like he was coming to the net, he was playing a very loose style of tennis that Sinner isn't quite there yet. I think Sinner plays a very formal, a little bit rigid style of tennis, which obviously works really well, and he moves really well, but I think Alcaraz being able to come to the net, he won, I think, I don't know, I had this at somewhere, but even just coming to the net, that's not something you see in singles all the time. Mm-hmm. So it clearly it just affected Sinner early on, threw him off his game, and I mean, it was just there was no really chance when I was watching. I was like, I want this match to go to 5, but the way if Alcaraz keeps playing like this, then it's not going to go to 5. But I will say, I think in the past, because I was watching and I was kind of thinking, we've seen Alcaraz kind of play really, really well the first 1, maybe 2 sets, and then get much more inconsistent. Like, he'll play the best set of tennis of his entire career and then forget all of a sudden. So I was worried that was going to happen to him. So I was happy that he was finally able, not finally, but he maintained a really high level the entire match. And the other thing I will say, guys, the Drake curse, something we talked about last time, it continues. So anyone out there, if Drake puts
what is it, a
bid down, I guess so, places a bet on a tennis player, go the other way. The chances that Drake will be right apparently is very slim, but
I think he's 0%, right?
I have not heard of him being correct.
He won. No, I think he's 1 and 2 now, because I think he had Sinner to win the Australian.
Interesting.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Because he was like, I need to come back here.
Okay.
I'm not going to put a bet on.
But that was also like
Taylor
that
Fritz.
was kind of a layup to
Yeah,
me.
and
Like
last
it's Sinner
year-
and no offense to Medvedev, but like we've talked about how he's not at
Exactly.
the level of these two.
And
so.
you know what? Last year, Drake placed a bet on Taylor Fritz to beat
Yes. Okay.
Djokovic.
That's what I knew he also
So,
lost.
yeah.
Okay.
you know what? He has to get some. He should hire us as tennis advisors, guys. Honestly, like
exactly.
pay me a couple mil. I'll do it.
I love that job. Just a little side gig.
Wow. He
Yeah,
said
yeah,
Taylor
just
Fritz.
Would
Interesting.
barely even
on
think
the
about
side.
it.
Yeah.
But another question I had for you guys, sticking with this men's final. Do you guys think that this warm up? Did you guys see the videos of the warm ups between Alcaraz and Sinner?
Oh yes, I know what you're talking about.
Wait,
Yeah.
remind me?
So
I'm like, did something
pre-match, they're in
Yeah.
their respective locker rooms or whatever, and so
Oh,
Sinner was running around like playing soccer,
Yes.
high-fiving his coaches, whatever, and Alcaraz was dialed in, just absolutely locked in, doing the quick feet, all that stuff. And I saw a tweet that was like, if Alcaraz wins this match, I know why. But
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
saw
going to
that
say
tweet. Okay.
why until after the match is over, and then Alcaraz won, and he posted these two, or he reposted the videos, I guess. And so, do you guys agree with that, I guess?
I mean, I don't know about the warm up. I think sometimes players can really excel when they are laid back.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw that video of Yannick running around, I go, wow, like this might be an insane final because he is so relaxed.
Yeah.
That might be dangerous. I don't know. I don't necessarily know if I have an opinion on that, but I think the first set determined who was going to win.
Interesting.
Like, he was so dominant. I
Yeah.
think that's what, at least made me think that he was going to take the title.
I don't put a ton of stock in the warm-up video. I think it's kind of just like funny to look back on now, but going into this match, like nobody would have been surprised if Sinner won, like I just don't know how much we can put into that. And I think I agree with Mary what you were saying about how some players like are just laid back, like they can't freak themselves out too much. And I think like it's every player's different because there's always players who are like they don't speak to anyone like an hour before their game or their match, or like, they have to do X, Y, and Z before or they're going to lose or something. Like they're crazy. So I don't really put a ton of stock into it. It's just kind of funny to look back on. And it was like, yes, Carlos was obviously the better player, but I don't think he won the US Open because Sinner was like running around.
Yeah,
having fun
yeah,
before.
no,
Like,
absolutely
I don't
not.
think anyone can
I
argue
do think
that.
it's interesting though. Then their styles on the court are so opposite because then
Yes.
Alcaraz smiles and like a little bit more, at least looks like he is enjoying himself, and Sinner is just straight face the entire
Yeah.
match. So it was kind of funny to see those before videos where it's like, oh, like Sinner does smile sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
when he feels like it, and then just gets on the court and locks in. But I just thought those two videos were kind of interesting, and the debate online was like, all right, I guess we can have this. But Alcaraz winning also ends Sinner's 65-week reign at number one. So new world number one after 65 weeks, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And the fact that Sinner probably came and took that spot after being suspended 3 months, also crazy.
Yeah.
So, which kind of leads me to my next point. The discrepancy between the number one and number two players in the world, Sinner and Alcaraz on any given day, really, and number three, Djokovic, we'll just call it how it is, and then between Djokovic and everyone else is wild.
It's insane. I was talking about this with my mom. It's crazy. The difference between, like, Carlos, who has over 11,000 points, and Taylor Fritz, who's 5, who has literally just 4,000.
Yeah.
That is an insane difference. And I think goes to show just how incredible Carlos and Yannick are playing.
Yeah.
It also is funny, just even if you just look from Alcaraz and Sinner are both, Sinner's 10,700 or so, and Alcaraz has over 11,000. And then you go to number 3, who's Alex Zverev, who did not make a major final this year, who has just around 6,000. It's
Like,
a 4,000 point difference. Like, it's insane.
It's insane. And like it just raises this question because, you know, I've said this on this podcast already. I think Djokovic is, as Grace would say, is nearing the end of his twilight, or is in his twilight.
He's
Sorry.
in the twilight.
He's in his twilight. Like, I would expect him to retire soon, but I do think he's in a really hard position.
Totally.
Because he's not going to be able to beat Sinner or Alcaraz, but he can still beat everyone else on tour.
But he's beating Taylor Fritz.
Exactly.
Like, easily.
He can beat everyone else other than the top two players.
Which is fine.
So it puts Djokovic and Zverev and Taylor Fritz and Medvedev and all these other players that we've said in this weird position where they're not, you know, old enough to retire.
Yeah.
They're good enough to play on tour. But I think we can officially say now we're in this Federer Nadal era where for the next, I don't know, 3 years, it's just going to be these two guys.
It's going to be them for the next maybe 10.
Yeah.
They're so
yeah.
young. Like, we
They're
forget
so
that,
young.
what is Sinner, like 24 and Alcaraz is 22? Like, these are children. Like, they're so young. And, like, Zverev is 28. So he's got a lot of career left. But, yeah, it kind of feels like, I'm going to mix my sports here, which I love doing, but it feels a little bit like how I feel about the rest of the AFC when Patrick Mahomes is like himself. It's like no one's going to, you know, he's going to the Super Bowl. Even if he doesn't win, like last year, he's going to be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Unless something crazy happens, and it almost never does. So, you know.
That's a good analogy.
Thank you.
that
Love
makes
mixing
sense.
my sports metaphors. Makes me so happy.
But it's going to be them.
Yeah.
And that was something that someone from the press asked Carlos's coach, Juan Carlo. He said, "What is the state of tennis right now?" It was something along the lines of, does there need to be a third player in the mix? Does there need to be this third variable to add to this layer of competition? And Juan Carlos said, I mean, anyone's welcome, like, to come to this level. Anyone's welcome if they can get there. I know Holger Rune.
It's a crazy response.
But I think, honestly, though, like, I admired it.
Yeah.
Because it's true. I don't love talking about hypotheticals, and I think it kind of shut it down. But he also said that he thinks that, you know, some of these younger players who are watching these two, that'll help them succeed and grow. But I can't believe Holger Rune was said to be this sort of third variable for a moment. I don't think that's the case at all.
It's a kind of a random name.
We haven't really heard about him at majors this year.
There was potential with him, and everyone was talking about him.
Yeah,
but really,
I think he's
like,
a good player, but I don't let's see how he's
But the
done at
results
majors.
aren't equivalling that.
say that he's going to be the third member of.
He's
of
not
this
winning
trio.
ATP
Right
1000s.
now, he's shaping up to be like the Andy Murray maybe of the group, where, you know, Andy Murray was
on the
good, but
outside
he
a
never
little.
got there. Yeah.
So he lost the second round of the U.S. Open this year, and then Wimbledon first round exit, French Open fourth round exit, lost to Musetti, and then Australia, or that's Argentina, sorry. Australia, he lost to Sinner in the fourth round. So, okay, he did fairly well at Australia, but, like, he's not making quarters.
He
Right, he hasn't.
semis,
Semis, we haven't seen, although he's also, I mean, listen, he's also 22, so he has obviously quite a bit of time, but it's interesting that he's that guy when, like, Sinner and Alcaraz are already, what do they each have? Like, Alcaraz is 6 majors, Sinner's like 4 or 5. They already are at the several on the trophy shelf, and Rune is not there. He has 5 career titles overall.
Very interesting.
I say this, and I know we have to move on, but even looking at these rankings, I think Alex de Minaur has the most potential. I think he had a great run here. He always does. I think he's finally, like, making the strides that he deserves. I'm bummed about Jack Draper with the injury. I think that could be an issue. I don't know what you guys think. Ben Shelton, I think
he could be
I see
interesting.
potential in Ben Shelton.
Me
I could
too.
see him winning a U.S. Open.
Yeah.
Like, almost as an Andy Roddick. Like, finally when Andy Roddick beats, Roger.
Yeah.
Taylor Fritz, you know my thoughts.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think Taylor Fritz is ever getting to another Grand Slam final.
Tommy Paul?
Love
Yeah.
Tommy Paul, but I don't know. I don't know. Tommy Paul. Who did Tommy
How
Paul
about
lose
Casper
to?
Ruud? Rude.
Oh,
Sorry.
I love him.
Oh,
I hope he makes another one.
Yeah.
He
I mean,
exited too
he was
early.
looking so
Yeah.
good during and then after Madrid, and then he kind of just fell off.
What about
But
Felix?
it's in him.
It's in him. What about Felix?
Felix, I
I think
think
Felix
this
Is
could
this
put him
gonna-
back on an upwards
Is
trajectory.
this gonna happen again? That's what
Maybe.
I'm saying.
He
I
beat
don't
some
know.
great players on this
He
run. He
did.
beats Zverev. Like if Zverev, like all due respect to Felix, if Zverev can't even beat Felix, like I'm like, what are we, you know? And Felix only lost because he was
He's only
facing Sinner.
25.
Like,
Yeah.
He's only 25.
yeah.
There's a lot of potential.
No, and he looked great this tournament.
But he
too.
stressed
was
me
playing
because last
great
year,
tennis this
he exited round
U.S.
one.
Open. That's the
against the
problem.
qualifier, so,
Maybe
like-
he's not very consistent at the majors, but
I'd like to see
Yeah.
him succeed
yeah.
and
Yeah.
continue to make strides like this.
Yes. Well, one more interesting fact or stat that I found before we kind of dig into the women's side now. But Sinner and Alcaraz have combined to win each of the last 8 Grand Slam singles titles, the longest streak since Federer and Nadal compiled 11 consecutive major titles from
Wow.
2005 to 2007.
Oh,
So-
man.
Insane.
It's been quite some time, and we're back in this, we took some years off from, this super competitive
Yeah.
small world tennis, but we're back. I think we can officially say that the tennis world is back in this concentrated era of just absolutely insane players doing their thing and making it very difficult for everyone else. But I think we can kind of it's on the women's side, it's a little bit more open in my opinion. But Sabalenka took this one US Open final in 2 against the American Amanda Amnesova. Sorry. And Amanda was kind of close at one point. Sabalenka won 6-3, 7-6 with 7-3 tiebreaker in the second set. I didn't get a chance to watch this whole match like I did with the men's side, but the parts that I did see, she put up a good fight, Amanda. It was fun having an American back in the finals, but this was the 3rd consecutive year an American woman has reached the US Open final, which is kind of cool.
That is cool.
Which then all different women, which is also kind of interesting. But this match puts Sabalenka back as number 1 in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So on both men's and women's side, you talk about our picks. We both had Alcaraz and Sabalenka to take home these trophies, and the picks feel a little unoriginal,
Yeah.
But there's not really, Sinner is also great, but especially this woman's side, there's not really anyone else.
I had Ego winning this tournament only because my thought was if she won Wimbledon, which I didn't really think she would, which was obviously a ridiculous take. But I was like, she's a bit of a, she's a French Open kind of girl. She's like how Rafa was. But Rafa also won Wimbledon twice and he won 4 US Opens, I think.
Yeah.
She could probably be the woman version of this. I don't know if she'll get to 22 slams, but kind of on a smaller scale right now. But I kind of picked her because I'm like, if she can win Wimbledon, she can probably win the next one too. She's
Yeah.
won the US Open before.
No,
but-
she's a great player.
but like Sabalenka, she didn't win any other major this year. She lost in the Australian Open final to Madison Keys, which also brings up my other point is that an American woman was in every slam final this year.
Let's go.
Wow.
Madison Keys won Australia,
Right.
Coco won the French, and then Amanda, the last 2, was runner-up.
Wow, nice.
So that was pretty
Wow.
cool.
That is major.
Way to
And
put
then
that
also,
together,
I remember all this because I wrote for the RAM about the U.S. Open, but 5 American women made the round of 16 at the U.S. Open.
All right.
So that was cool.
That's cool.
It's a good amount.
That's major.
Yeah.
Because losing Serena, I think,
That was a tough
was a
one.
major loss for
Yeah.
American women's tennis and just women's tennis in general.
But anyway, yeah, I don't really know if anyone can compete with Sabalenka at certain tournaments, but I also, I don't think anyone really competes with Iga at the French Open either, unless it's kind of an outlier like this year with Coco. So I don't know. I feel like it's a little easier for a woman to break through than a man to break through Sinner and Alcaraz because they have already 10 slams between them. And then Sabalenka just got her... so Sabalenka got her 4th and Iga has 6 if we're throwing Iga into the mix here. So they both have 10 slams between them. So
I think it's
I don't
interesting
know.
the conversation between those two too, because as you mentioned, they both play very differently on different surfaces. Where I feel like Sinner and Alcaraz are more competitive on every surface than Iga and Sabalenka are on every surface.
Definitely.
So maybe that's why I'm just thinking like Iga and Sabalenka are both really, really good, but only in certain environments, which I still think makes kind of this woman's draw a little bit more open, because then you have someone like Amanda Anisova, making the 2 finals in a row, where Iga, like you would have think that maybe Iga would get there, and she did not this year.
Yeah. And also, like, you can toss Coco in up there.
Right.
I think the top 3 is pretty hard. If any of them are in a major final, I'm probably just going to pick them. And then Amanda is number 4 in the world now, which is pretty cool. But, like, the discrepancy, like we were talking about with the points for the ATP, Sabalenka has over 11,000. And then even Iga, who has 6 majors, has under 8,000. So it's still a big gap. So it's interesting. Iga is also only 24. And obviously Coco is only 21 because she was born in the same year as me. So it's kind of scary to think about. But
She's
2004.
Same year as me.
Same year as you.
Same year as me.
There you go.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Just to throw our age out there.
Just a fun little fact. But yeah, there's a big discrepancy, I think, especially between Sabalenka, this top 3 at the very least, but especially Sabalenka, even to Iga, depending on where they're competing. Arena, I think, can win Australia in a few months, and it would be kind of expected.
Yeah.
That's the only one that Iga hasn't won, I think, too.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I
You
think
never know.
that was my other, these 2 players specifically. Where do we see them going, especially in this little bit of an off season? I know there's still some tournaments happening on that stuff, but I do think for Sabalenka, it should be her expectation going into Australia that she at least makes the finals again, especially coming off this win. She will likely stay number 1 until then. This is her 55th week at number 1. By the time I wrote this is her 55th week at number 1. And also, just another interesting thing, Sabalenka is the first woman to reach 3 Grand Slam finals in a calendar year since Serena Williams in 2016.
Wow.
So,
That's cool.
That is
just to bring up Serena Williams again.
very cool. Did you guys see also, Sabalenka and Alcaraz have the same birthday?
Yeah,
I
that
did
was crazy.
see that.
On the Today
That's so
Show.
random.
I know. I couldn't believe it. Just interesting. I feel like so many players have interesting connections, interesting
Yeah, it's weird.
crossovers. Sometimes I see old pictures of people from so long ago. It's crazy.
Also, a fun fact is that Iga hasn't won the Australian Open and neither is Alcaraz. So I know who I'm picking in January.
Wow.
Everyone lock it in now. They're both going to win their first
Has
Australia.
Coco won Australia?
No.
No.
She only won the U.S. Open and the French Open.
Okay.
And you know what? I do like
And
Coco
Wimbledon, right? Or am I
No,
in
she didn't
January
win.
because
No.
she's well rested
Okay.
at that point.
That's true.
Coco always, ever since I feel like she won, sometimes she struggles in this tournament because I think she gets tired.
Yeah. It's also...
Which everyone is tired, but
Australia is weird because it's so, I mean, this sounds stupid, but it's so far away. It's a totally different, everybody's screwed up a little bit. It didn't used to be that, Australian Open did not used to be, that big of a deal, and I feel like it has become a bigger deal, but it's obviously number 4 on the majors list.
Yeah.
Wait, we should do that. It's funny. On my TikTok, it's been coming up all the time, people ranking different majors and things. I've heard a lot of good stories about Australia. I feel like it's like the
Yes.
U.S. Open in that it's becoming much more modernized, much
It's
more
very
commercialized. But I don't know. I think that
Compared
could
to,
be fun.
I would just say because, again, it's on the, let's say on the East Coast where we are, you don't really get to watch a ton of Australian Open because it's a 16-hour time difference. And so obviously for, people over here, that's tough. Even I don't even know what the difference would be like in Europe, but same kind of thing. But
Maybe
like
10.
Probably 10 hours or something,
Around
depending
there,
where you are
give
in
or take.
Europe. But that makes it kind of hard for everyone to appreciate the Australian Open. Like, obviously, Wimbledon
True.
is steeped in tradition, and the French Open is like in Paris, and it's clay,
And
so
it's
it's
red
like
clay,
unique,
yep.
right? It's cool, and then the U.S. Open is just like it's in New York.
Chaos.
It's just chaos. It's New York. There's always weird things going on. It's the honeydews, like. So
Wait,
that's
what would be your one? Sorry, I think we should.
okay. So
I'll pick
I'm
our one.
biased, but probably the U.S. Open
Yeah,
is
Yeah,
my favorite.
US Open
But
is
like
a good
Wimbledon
one.
is right there. I'd say them 1A, 1B, and then the French Open, and then Australia. But I still love all of them. Like they're my children.
Yeah, it's a tough
so.
thing to pick.
I think I agree with that.
But
It also is hard because at least I'm curious to hear your answer, but
I don't know.
I
agree
would
with you
like.
guys.
It's hard that the U.S. Open is the only one that I've actually been to,
yeah, same.
and so maybe if I like went to Roland Garros, I'd be like, you know what, guys, like this is my like favorite like U.S.
Yeah.
Open 1 because I'm biased, grew up there, but like Roland Garros number 2, or like if I somehow had already gone to the Australian Open,
yeah.
like
Totally.
I don't know, where
Maybe we have to plan a trip. Maybe we have to go.
on
What
site.
what
in
would
Melbourne?
we prioritize?
Well, I
think
think
I want to go to Roland Garros.
yeah.
I would love that.
That's also like the easiest one. Well, I don't know. I don't know what the easiest one to go to would be. Not Australia. Obviously, it's kind of a different.
Well, I mean,
That's a
the plane
difficult
ride is
journey.
probably the toughest part about
Yes.
that. Where
Yeah,
would you
definitely.
rather stand in the Wimbledon queue?
No.
That's true.
No.
We'd have to plan
No.
months and months and months in advance. I will say I went on a tour of, when I was in London this summer. I went on a
Nice.
tour of Wimbledon, and it was
Wow.
so cool. I went with one of my roommates when I was in London. She also loves tennis, so we went. We were like geeking out the whole time. We were like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
Roger Federer was on that court," because they took us inside center court.
Whoa,
Like
okay,
this
that's
is the
awesome.
coolest thing ever. But yeah, so I'd love to go back and actually see tennis being played there. But yeah, I'd probably go. I'd like to go to Roland Garros. My mom went about 10
really?
years ago
Wow.
for work,
Yeah.
but she was like, "It's the coolest thing ever." So I'd
Wow.
love to go there.
That's what I've heard about Roland Garros, is that it's just nobody has anything bad to say about it.
I've never heard a bad thing about it. Yeah.
No.
Whereas
I don't know if I've
I'm
heard bad things
scorned,
about Wimbledon
though.
either, though.
okay, I'm scorned because when I went to Wimbledon, Taylor Fritz beats Zverev on center court. So
That's a
oh
bru-
my
brutal
god.
match for you.
Everything comes back to Taylor Fritz with you.
But would you
also.
rather
No, I'm
Zverev
kidding.
win that match? Like,
No.
no. I would take the American.
Mary
No,
honestly
definitely.
would though.
Yeah.
definitely no, I would. No, I take that back. But seriously, I think we should plan our nice trip.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right,
We'll
we'll
get some
see you
great
in
coverage.
Melbourne in a few
Maybe in
months.
Indian Wells.
Yes,
I'd
sweet.
love to go to
Yes, I
Indian
would rather go to
Wells.
Indian Wells than another major if I was.
That's
prioritize.
crazy.
Well, it is a little easier.
Are you kidding? Tennis
Maybe-
Paradise.
Tennis
That's
Paradise.
awesome.
It's beautiful out
Yeah.
there.
Quick plane ride.
Not too bad of a
Or
plane ride. 5 hours.
maybe Miami,
Miami,
Miami
very
Open?
easy. It's like 2 hours.
right?
Wow, that could be convenient too.
That would be awesome.
So, lot to think about here. Oh, but I did have, before we do, one last shout out for our predictions. It has been 12 years since, so the last time that a man and a woman have both won the same major, 12 years. And that was Novak Djokovic and Victoria Azarenka
Wow.
in 2013.
Oh,
Isn't that
that's
so
fascinating.
random?
That's so
Wait,
cool.
so
I love
Can
they
you explain
both
that again?
So
I'm like,
in
it's not registering for me.
2013,
Okay.
Novak Djokovic and Victoria Azarenka both won the Australian Open.
Okay.
That hasn't, the same
Oh,
player winning
okay.
the same tournament hasn't happened until this year
Wow.
with
okay.
Alcaraz and
Huh,
Sabalenka.
Interesting. Wow.
Isn't that, I feel like I saw that stat, and it came from the U.S. Open website, so I was like, I know this isn't wrong. This isn't like,
Yeah.
bad ChatGPT information. I wouldn't do that to you guys. But it feels like it should have happened before then, but
Yeah. That's
I guess not.
Wow.
But to kind of round us all off for today, just want to shout out me and Mary really quickly, being 100% accurate only on the champion side, excluding all the other posts. I was gonna go through it and I was gonna
Put X's.
put
and checks.
yeah, and then it was going to be a lot of work because there are going to be a lot of X's. And
That's okay.
so I thought,
we'll
stick with champion and runner-up.
Yeah.
Mary Hannah was 50% accurate. I think she got Carlos and not the women's side. Grace, I'm sorry you did not make the cut this time around.
Oops.
And then on the runner-up side, Mary Hannah took the lead. She won this one.
Wow.
She was 50% right with Sinner. And the rest of us,
oh, yes.
2 X's. Yeah.
Wow. That's
Because,
brutal for the rest of us.
Yeah, I think
Wait,
you
who did you put?
Carlos, I think.
I have it pulled up right now. I put Carlos and Jasmine Paolini.
I put I put Tiafo and
Coco.
Coco, yeah.
Okay.
And then Mary, you had Alex Demonauer and
Who he
Ika.
was so close.
Yeah.
That could have happened.
Yeah.
If he beat Felix.
That's
he could've
true.
beat
That's a
Sinner.
tough one.
But then
though.
I was going to say you would run into Sinner either way, and I'm taking
Yeah.
Sinner
True.
over
And then-
either of those two.
quarterfinal survivors. I'm gonna just look these up real quick. I have Taylor Fritz.
Oh my
Taylor
god, both
Fritz-
mine were going.
Taylor Fritz lost in the quarters, so no. And then Musetti. No, Musetti did not make the semifinals.
Yeah.
No, he also lost in the quarters. Okay, so I was close on those. And then Pegula lost in the semifinal, so that was correct. And then Sabalenka, so I kind of got it
Nice.
on the women.
That is good.
And
Yeah,
I was
that's
close on
good.
the men, so not too bad.
Gabby,
Guys.
how
No,
are
that
yours?
counts. Mine were, so I had Fritz and Jack Draper.
Right.
Okay.
Tough.
Fritz, definitely.
And then Madison Keys and Ika.
Okay.
All right.
Solid picks.
None
though.
of these picks are
So-
like outrageous
No.
either.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
It just kind of goes to show that, you don't expect what was he? He was like number 8 seed Jack Draper or something.
Yeah.
And injured second round.
Yeah.
If he didn't
Brutal.
get injured,
Maybe.
total things
Who knows
could
what
totally
could have
been
happened?
different.
Yeah. Totally.
And then just the only other category I wanted to shout out was the American Hopes, where we might have been too hopeful, guys, is what I will say for that.
Well, Ben Shelton got hurt. Like we
That
couldn't
was
have called that
Ben
one.
Shelton got hurt.
And he was gonna
3
win
out
that
of 4
match.
of us.
Like he was going to be in the 4th round.
Yeah,
at
that was
least.
really unfortunate, actually.
And then Coco, what happened to Coco again?
She, who'd she lose to?
She lost to Osaka in the round of 16.
Oh, that's right. Osaka.
Okay.
That was a great
So-
match. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Great match.
I mean, what can you do? I
can you do?
loved that match.
It happens.
So.
Yeah, and Osaka came out. She deserved to win that match.
Yeah.
That's what we will say to that. But yeah. So it's been a fun tournament throughout this time. Mary,
So sad.
thank you for WFUV coverage
Yeah.
of
Oh
the
my
U.S.
gosh.
Open. It was fantastic. The press conference stuff also that you were
That
sharing
was
throughout
very-
this episode, very cool.
that was really cool.
Very
It
interesting.
was a great time. I'm so thankful to have been able to go.
Yeah, no. So it's been a great 2025 tournament. Next major on the docket will be in January for the
Wow.
Australian Open. We are bound to be back before then, of course, knowing us. There's tennis all throughout the year if you
Yeah.
pay close enough attention. But for myself, Gabby Price, my co-host today, Grace McCarron, and Mary Hawthorn, this has been an episode of Cross the Line, a tennis podcast by WFUV Sports.